Hello guys, welcome to the 1000 subscriber special. Today I want to make something special, so I will speak English for the whole video. This is Sascha from Urbix area.
Hello,
and we will guide you through this old gas plant which is behind us. This was my third Urbix project. I've taken a lot of photos in 2012, but most of them have never been published. Last time there was a fence with a lot of holes in it and it was very easy to access the area. Today it's a little bit more complicated, but I hope we'll find an entrance. I hate these plants, and I guess you know why. Because of the thorns. Did you notice that the word plant has two different meanings in English? We go to a gas plant and we are walking on a lot of plants here on the floor. A lot of people seem to go to this place because here is even a path. And here you can hear the water pumps in the container. Unfortunately, a lot of vandalism took place here, but also natural decay. Do you see the tree growing on the roof? when I was urbexing for the third time, it was very impressive to see these buildings here. And now, when I'm doing this every 2 weeks or so, it's quite normal to see such buildings. It's nothing special anymore. Isn't there something that you want to show to my visitors?
Sure, we can look for the next rooms. There are wonderful roofs that we are kind of looking. And
okay, you want to go on the roof?
I am not. I'm going not on the roof. To wait for this.
Okay, but the ceilings are also nice from wooden ceiling constructions. You will see that. Here I found something, an inscription on the wall. Not here, but on the other side. There's written Feinmetall, so fine metal. And this is aus, ein, aus. Oops. Aus, ein, aus, so off, on, off. And this is the name of the company. Huh? Cevas?
The old name of the company. That's the old name of the company, Zeppelin.
Something with Zeppelin, yes. We will talk about this later. So, they put the gas into bottles, and then when the bottles were damaged, they repaired it here. That's why there's written Flaschenreparatur.
And on the top you can see the pipeline, the yellow pipeline of the hydrogen construction.
Ah, okay. That's the wooden ceiling. Very nice.
Wonderful. Very, very wonderful.
So let's talk a bit about the plant here. Formerly, this was a very huge area here. They constructed even Zeppelins. Zeppelins are aircrafts, not aircrafts, but airships. Airships with a huge frame over it, and the frame was covered, and inside there was a gas. And this plant here produced the gas for the Zeppelins. The construction halls for the Zeppelins have already been demolished a long time ago, but these are the rests of the gas plant here.
And the famous Zeppelin in Germany was the Hindenburg.
Yes, that's right.
It needs the same oxygen and
hydrogen. And that's what they produced here. The name of the company was Cevas, Z-E-W-A-S, which is an abbreviation for the German Zeppelin, Wasserstoff, Sauerstoff, wie war das?
Gesellschaft Company.
Okay, so it was the Zeppelin Hydrogen Oxygen Company.
Yes.
And now we will look, we will take a look into this nice building here.
And I think this place where we are stand is the filling station of the bottles for the Zeppelin.
Okay, we have here some tracks. You see that? So, and two ramps, tracks and ramps. What did they do here? What do you think?
I think this was the fill station of the bottles for transportation.
So you had a kind of train here on the rails, or what was it? Because we know that there are rails on the area. We have already seen them, but the tracks end here. I can see no tracks.
And we can look.
That's a cable? No, that's a root from a tree.
But it's ending.
Yes, the tracks are ending. So, I don't know. And I'm very glad that the wooden construction here still is intact. Because you have many abandoned places which are burned down, yes, unfortunately. So I hope that this will not happen here. There is a preservation order about this building, so it has to be protected as a monument. You're not allowed to demolish it. And here again, it's the yellow pipeline for the gas. There's a cage.
I think it was a safety area for the highest explosion things there can place it.
Okay. For some chemicals which are very dangerous and not every worker can access to it. Okay. That's possible. So here we have some scales or a weighing machine. Okay, so I will step on it, and you can you tell me how much I weigh? No.
No.
Doesn't work. Okay. Maybe it was locked. Was it locked?
Yeah, I think it's unlocked.
Now it's unlocked. Yeah, but the scale is missing. It's all rusty here. I think it's a nice place because you can see the decay, the natural decay, when a building is slowly collapsing. But it's in the same state as 5 years ago. So maybe you can save some of this structure if you would do so. But if nobody does something for monument protection here and they don't repair the roofs and so on, then sooner or later the whole area will collapse. You think that there was a pressure station or something like that here, so where they filled the gas into the bottles?
Yes, that is what I think. There's a place for the old
pipes
on the wall, where you can put the pipes on the wall.
Tubes also. Tubes.
Pipelines going here on the corner for the stations.
Okay. But I thought that it's the bottle repair center here. Isn't it the building where it's written Flaschenreparatur, bottle repair? Let's take a look here when we go out. The sign was there. That's the rear side from the bottle repair sign. Then we have a building here. And what did you found? Another room?
I have find a little room, but it's not spectacular. I think it's an office of the boss.
The boss of the bottle repair center. Maybe, we don't know. So maybe let's go to the building on the other side. Unfortunately, we also don't know what that was. Maybe a storage room or storage hall. These are garages. But now there are so many trees that you can't go in with your car into the garage. Was it a car garage? No,
this is not. I think that is a fill station too.
Yes, because the door isn't wide enough for a car.
Next is a garage for cars.
Oh. Did you see that? Thank you. Hashtag Urbex's gone wrong. I was stuck. That's why I prefer shorts. Okay, yes, these are garages. And they are empty. A double garage. Look at this. This is a garage with some pipelines in it. That's interesting.
The yellow pipelines.
So the yellow ones were the hydrogen pipelines? How do you know that?
That is a safety construction when the pressure is too high.
Ah, okay.
The pressure can go off on this.
But you don't know which kind of gas they filled into these pipelines.
The yellow, I think, is oxygen.
Ah, oxygen. And hydrogen?
Oxygen in Germany is our blue pipelines, and I think this is the other hydrogen pipeline.
Okay, but I found no blue ones. Do you?
I think there's mix it inside and fill it up.
Ah, okay. But do they mix it in the bottle already? I thought they mixed it in the airship, in the Zeppelin.
I don't know. The high explosion is too high when they mix it on the Zeppelin.
But isn't it the chemical reaction between the oxygen and the hydrogen which makes the engines work?
I don't know.
But I think that the principle for hydrogen engines is you mix up the hydrogen and the oxygen to make the engine work, and then you will get water, which is a harmless product in the end. Here you have the chimney. Maybe here were also surge tanks, which you need when the pressure becomes too high. From when is it? From 1989.
And here we have a blue line. And here's air.
Oh, okay, this might be oxygen here.
This is oxygen.
Blue line. It's even green, I would say. Almost green. Maybe there was a lifting block. There are some pulleys here. Idler pulleys. And here's a big one. Now we found out that the tracks between the buildings are still here. You see the railroad tracks which lead into the hall with the wooden ceiling and the ramp. So there were trains going into the hall so that you could load the train. I just wanted to thank you for opening the door for me, and now you just let it close. So you see, automatic door, and it still works. This could be a dining room here.
There's the old kitchen.
In the kitchen, yes.
Freezer.
This one is in freezer?
I think yes.
Possibly. Yeah, this was the kitchen.
And this was the dining room.
Or kind of cafeteria or something like that. And they even had toilets here, of course. But you can't see the toilets anymore because some idiots destroyed them.
The toilets too, I think women and men's.
That's possible. So the women had much more space in here, I think. Or possibly it was the men's restrooms for men here and for women there. Because maybe they had only a few female workers and then they needed only one toilet. I really like this architecture of old plans. I can remember that the stairs were already missing 5 years ago. Nevertheless, Greta can go upstairs. Okay, so I will try to go upstairs also, but I will leave my bag here, which makes it a lot easier. What you never know is if the steps of the stairs are missing because it's not safe here. I hope that it's safe enough for both of us. But you have a great view from here. The problem is that I don't like height. But Greta has no fear at all. I really don't feel comfortable here. So I prefer coming down again. I wondered how to come down from this ramp here, and then I saw the stairs. But as nature reconquers the stairs, I have to jump off the ramp. One could say I'm walking on the roof, because the roof has come down. If you want, you can park your bike here. the building didn't collapse more within the last 5 years, I think. There is written Aufenthaltsraum, so it was the recreation room for the workers. But the door is locked and the recreation room collapsed behind the door, so it doesn't matter. These shall prevent the wall from coming down. You see this crab here? So, Sascha, thank you for joining me on my trip today to the old gas plant. I think in the last 5 years not much was changing here. It's the same as 5 years ago. I can't see any changes, which is nice because the vandalism hasn't took over all the place.
Yes, that's
it's the same state as 5 years ago, which is nice. I hope that you enjoyed this video, which was very complicated for me because I had to speak English and take out my dictionary to find the right words and so on. But I hope that you liked my channel. The next video will be in German as usual, Fridays at 3 p.m. So give the video a big thumbs up if you liked it, and go to the channel Urbix Area. It's Sascha's channel. Urbix Area, you will find a link in the description. Thank you and goodbye.
Bye.
Addendum. There is one door which I forgot to go into today. This is this one. There I've also been 5 years ago. But here we have a change because there was a fire, as you can see up there. But I will nevertheless have a look. Unfortunately, a fire destroyed the roof and part of the floor here. It wasn't like that 5 years ago. I will show you some photos.